normal introduction today. I'm sorry, we already started backstage. And then I realized that we're even missing out. The public is missing out on the conversation we were already having. And so I thought I'd just press the live button so we can just continue. So I had said that last week we were supposed to have a meeting, and the meeting did not hold because I could not get hold of Share. And once I had put out a notice that we were not going to meet anymore, Share called me. And then he was upset. And then I had to explain to him, I had no way of knowing that you were going to come to the meeting. He was saying, but you should have known, you should have known. I was like, I had no way of knowing. So the topic today is why relationships struggle. And it occurred to us that why don't we sort this one out publicly so that we can actually see how these communication pitfalls affect relationships, right? So we started the conversation. Now, when Shaya called me and was upset, I was like, young man, why are you upset? He said, but you should have known, you should have known. You should have known that we were going on. And I was like, there's no way that I could have known because I spoke to you just about 2 hours before. And we had an agreement that we're going to get back to me in 5 minutes. 5 minutes passed, 30 minutes passed. I didn't hear back from him. I tried to call him. He didn't take my call. I tried twice. And then after Bishop and I talked, we decided that we were going to leave the plan for the meeting since it looked like we weren't going to be able to have the proper, everybody convene as we planned. And then Shea wanted to understand why I took a rash decision of deciding that he wasn't going to be there. And so what did I do? Or what do you do when you find yourself in a situation like this? You can decide that, because he was actually upset. He was like, I don't like that kind of thinking. I don't like that. You shouldn't have taken that kind of decision. And I was like, I have done nothing wrong. I worked on what I saw from you. What I saw from you told me that you were not going to be able to, you were not reachable. It was an assumption. But here's the thing, if it has happened several times before that you're not able to do something with someone that you've planned to, you begin to, if you're not so self-focused, you begin to ask yourself, perhaps this person does not want to do this thing. Perhaps they're unable to do it. What do you do? For someone like me, instead of insisting that the person does it, I take it that maybe they don't want to or they are not able to. And so I will do whatever I can do without them and allow them to now show me whether they really want it. What do you think?
Share start.
Oh, okay. All right. I think for whatever has happened last week, I think it was I think it was hasty for me, and I think there was break in communication that must have led to that. You know, couple of hours before the program, we talked, and then we had an agreement that no matter what, if we are not going to come online, we discuss it. So you now send me on an errand or to call somebody, which I did. And when you called back, I had to like busy the call because I was doing some things. I busy it twice to tell you that, okay, I've seen your call, but I'm doing something. So I was shocked. When there was a change of plan, there's going to be change of plan, you will have reached out to me via text message or any other means. You understand? It was communication that caused that.
Okay.
Now you have not concluded, Share. So
Are you
how
there?
does a break in communication affect relationships? That's what we're discussing, not what happened.
She took some decisions without carrying me along. You understand? We have
Good.
a prior agreement, which we all know.
Good.
You know, there's some unwritten agreement, like, okay,
Yes.
I know this dude, if he's not going to do this, he will have told
An
me.
MOU.
You understand?
Yes.
And it's
An
about
MOU.
breaking communication. Yes. So I think
Okay.
I will have to stop for there. Just give me a minute. You can continue. Just a minute.
Okay, I'll just mute you just in case.
Well, we are live, isn't it?
Yes, we are.
Um, there are relationships have parameters, or if I don't want to use the word parameter, let me use the word pillars. Pillars that carry the structure. One of those pillars is that there is a way the mind of each person in the relationship is working. Now, taking our bearing from the incident, Sheye is available for the meeting actually, and was actually waiting to be signaled. And you were assuming that maybe he's not available
Disposed.
for whatever reason. Now, you see, what affects relationships from my experience in life is that a lot of times there isn't good faith on any of the parties. Because if you knew that Sheye is a responsible person, that Sheye has had a conversation with you, and that Sheye must keep his part, and Sheye also knows that, hey, Uzo is responsible, we have had a conversation, there is an MOU, an understanding between us. Both of you would have been waiting for each other. But what usually happens is, because of that lack of a certain trust on both sides, people rattle off on an angle. And a lot of times, the two parties are actually working towards the same objective. I don't think there's any man, for instance, who will enjoy that his marriage fails. No man will. Even if he accepts this as what else can I do? The fact is that he's just accepting it. It's not that that is his very first option. The same thing for a woman. There is no woman who is looking for an opportunity to have her marriage fail. Even if we're not talking about relationship, maybe it's business, because we use the word relationship on a generic term.
Yes.
Nobody enters into companionship or relationship with a mindset of let it fail. I'm yet to be convinced that there's anybody that will enter with that mindset. But what happens almost always is that we begin to pick up pitfalls on the journey. For whatever reasons, the interpretations we give to those pitfalls end up forming a paradigm for the participants. That's how Sheye does. Maybe he is rattled off on an angle. You just took a decision. Well, that's not it. I don't know if my explanation makes sense.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yes, perfectly.
So do you know how we now resolved it? So remember, I think that what you said about nobody wants to get into a relationship, whether it's a business relationship, whatever type of relationship, and then have it fail. However, what about the mindset with which we enter the relationship and the value we give that relationship? Because I think that what helps us to actually surmount that problem is that this is something that both of us really wanted. Because when the argument started, I said, you know what? Let's not talk about who did what and what. What I want to ask you is this: I want this thing. Do you want it? If you tell me you want it, then we can continue. Then, no matter what happens, what we now need to do is let's solve what happens when we get to a point where we don't understand what is happening on either side, right? And secondly, um, this is what I say about relationships. If I'm in a friendship or something with someone and they don't seem to be contributing or wanting that thing to progress, I draw back. I feel that I should draw back. And I always tell people, draw back. And I don't say draw back because I want you to punish the person. I want you to draw back. I draw back so that you can then see whether maybe the person is actually hinting you, leave me the hell alone. I don't want this. Or I'm only doing this because you are moving it. So if I was
But
pressuring Shay,
sorry,
can I
hello,
finish?
hello.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Okay.
So I
Let
just,
her.
yeah, because
Okay,
sometimes
yeah,
Shaya might actually
yeah.
not want that thing. Maybe he doesn't want it, but he feels that he doesn't know how to. I don't want to let her down, you know? I don't want, or maybe she will think, maybe it might hurt her too much, whatever. So I feel like if I just draw back a bit, and secondly, because we made a plan to maybe meet in that garden or something, whatever it is, if he's not showing up, maybe there's something else that I could have been doing. And that's what I told him. I have arrangements because I'm not a 2 year old, I'm not 5 years old. As a full blown adult, maybe there are things that I rearrange in my life in order to be able to meet the obligation, the plan that we have. So, therefore, shortly before the time, if you're not going to be there, it's going to cost me something. So, instead of costing me that thing, I zero in my mind that, okay, this is not working. Let me go ahead and do the other thing. And actually, what it was in this case was to make an arrangement for a family member, to be picked up from somewhere. And so I was like, I'm not going to wait until this time. Lose, cause some other um, disadvantage, to everyone else. And yet this doesn't go on. And in fact, that thing would also cost me money, right? And this is not the first time. So I was like, okay, if I do this, we're going to now know because Shaya is going to come back. And that's exactly what happened. So he came back and then we had to now, okay, do we want this thing to go ahead? Yes, we want it to go ahead. All right. So this is what happens when we have a situation like this. We have to um, let the other person know. Don't assume that when you ended my call that I understood that just because we had talked before, I'm still going to be expecting you, right?
Shay wanted to say something.
Thank you, Debbie. Oh, Shaya is frozen. He's
Oh, it's
frozen.
frozen? Okay. Well, you see, you have told us how you
Yeah,
handle situations.
it's just that I feel if you feel somebody is not you're stretching the relationship before you can withdraw, I think you should take your time. I mean, and when you tell people to tilt back, not for it not to be a negative advice, because you're about if it means that your love sacrifice is not directly proportional to your spouse's portion too. You know what I'm trying to
No,
say? That means that you can't divide love equally. Somebody must sacrifice more or must give more in relationship than the
I
other.
don't know. I don't know what you
So
mean.
sometimes in some relationships that you are giving, you didn't get my drift.
Actually, I know what you mean, but it doesn't make sense to me. But I know what you mean, but it does not make sense to me.
No,
So let
let me
yeah.
rephrase it. What I'm trying to say is that relationships are different. The way you and I operate now, it's possible for you to be giving me like 70% while I'm giving you 30%, and then Bishop might give you 90% and you are returning only 10% to Bishop. That is measured in every relationship. There's no 50-50 chances. You can't find any. Do you get me?
Uh,
Okay,
okay.
part of our
No, don't
part
get
of our
that.
part of our conversation therefore is why the various approaches. Why 30,
Okay.
70, 90, 10? Why? That is a conversation we're having. Why
Yeah.
will she give you 70% and you give her 30%? Why
And
will she
and
give
and,
me
and
10% and I give her what causes, what are the
I think
roots?
I that?
The-
The connection. Okay, while Shaya
Uh,
is frozen, Shaya, you're frozen, right? Shaya, are you frozen?
no,
Okay,
I'm
while
not.
Shaya is
I'm not.
frozen. Okay.
Am I frozen?
We can hear you. We can hear
We
you.
can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So, Bishop, I said I was asking that is that supposed to be a direct question,
Yes, it is a
Yes,
direct
or you
question.
I'm saying that
just say repeat
that
back?
is what the conversation involves. The conversation is let us
Okay.
on earth, let us open up why
Yes.
there are variables like that so that people can learn from
Okay.
it.
Okay. Well, I feel personally, I just feel the variables have to do it. I just say to me, I feel
Okay.
Your
it's like
audio. Is his audio smooth for you? Because I can't. It's disconnecting for me. Is it smooth for you, Bishop?
I'm hearing him, he comes on and off.
Yeah, it goes in and out, right?
okay.
Yeah.
Should
Uh,
I leave and come in
let me call
back?
you so that your audio comes from here. Is that
No,
better?
it's well. It's well coming. Let me leave and I will come back into the studio.
Or you want to go out and come back?
Just,
Okay. Okay. Oh, but there's no point my saying it when he's not here because I was going to
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Just give him a minute then, or a second. So in the meantime, we have Debbie TR in the audience and Explore with Meg. Thank you, Debbie. Debbie says she's learning a lot from the conversation. I
Okay.
don't see him. Yeah, it says he's here, but I don't see him.
Yeah, just let's continue. He will come on.
I think he's gone out again. He's bounced out again. Okay, so I'll say that I quite understand what Shaya is saying, but I think that it doesn't even really matter that someone is giving 30 and someone is giving 70, unless somebody is unhappy with it. In the sense that if you're giving me 30 and maybe to me, if I'm not feeling it, but it is the moment I am feeling it is what makes the relationship begin to soar. Because then, nature abhors a vacuum. I will be dwelling on the fact that I know this person is not giving me the remaining 40 that I'm giving or 70, whatever. And that begins to affect my trust. Can I rely on him? When we make plans, is he going to have my back? When he does something, because I say that in a relationship, even if I'm with my best friend, be it male, female, whatever, if I know that this person has my back, even when they make mistakes, even when they make mistakes that hurts me, I will know that it was a mistake that they didn't mean to hurt me. It was just a mistake because they're human, right? But when I am not sure that this is someone that really has my back, when I have already noticed that this person doesn't give me, that's remaining 40 or 70%, once there is no trust, a relationship cannot survive when there isn't trust. So once there is no trust, so I don't think it's a matter of checking percentages. I'm giving 30 or I'm giving. It's a matter of
Okay.
how comfortable.
Okay, let
Huh?
me say this. There are certain human beings in life
Yeah,
that naturally have trust issues.
yeah.
I remember describing a lady 2 or 3 months back. I
Mhm.
told her that she was trust deficient.
Uh,
And no matter how you look at it,
uh-huh,
that deficiency will affect any relationship she has.
uh-huh.
Now, on the other hand, as well, there are people who have character deficiencies in the sense of they are not faithful. In fact, let me paint a scenario. Imagine a young man who grew up struggling to survive, fending for himself always, and you happen to be in a relationship with him, I handled a matter like that in the UK. This young couple went to France on their honeymoon, and they were on that their big street in France. I think they call it Champs Elysees or something. And they were to cross the road, and the lady who's relishing her brand new marriage, yeah, thinking that the guy will hold her hand and they will walk across the road, the man just saw his face run across. And the lady was overwhelmed. How could he behave like that? So when the matter came to my attention, are you listening?
Yes, I am. I'm trying to. I see that the thing is partial,
Uh,
partially
he will come on when he will come on. Let's just keep going.
yes, and I'm trying to adjust settings. I just saw something on Facebook, so right.
So the matter came up as a very contentious issue in this young marriage. So I now asked the guy, so what were you thinking when you just ran across and forgot you were even with somebody?
Uh-huh.
He told me that when a guy is running for the security purposes of his life, does he have to look back? Yeah. So what are we dealing with here? You're dealing with a guy who has a background, a guy who has a paradigm formed from his experiences. And here you expect him to carry another person along. He
Uh-huh.
even acts before realizing that he's no longer alone.
Uh-huh.
Now, so how then do we solve a problem like this?
How do you think we'll solve it? If you ask me
Why?
how we solve it, remember how I always say that not every see we I cannot plant um in thorny ground and actually expect it to bear the same fruits as when I plant on good soil, good healthy soil. So
Well,
I say that we're not everybody, not everybody is two things I would say. Not everybody is qualified to be in a relationship because a relationship is a partnership. It's not everybody that you can actually go into a partnership with, right? Because some people don't have the qualities to be able to work in a partnership because they come into a partnership and they act as if they are the sole entrepreneur in that thing, taking decisions as if they were alone. So if I go and I think that I can have a partnership with someone who doesn't function, doesn't have the qualities to participate in a partnership, I'm not going to get what I'm looking for. So a person who has trust issues,
Shay,
yeah, you need to adjust your orientation. So a person who has trust issues is one of such people who, if you really um, understood what a relationship is, you would understand that working with a person who has trust issues is not a good quality for a relationship. For Shaya and I, if I don't trust him, if I didn't trust him, we would not be able to have this relationship. We had better just go away and I go and work on my trust issues because all the time we're going to be having problems, is what I think. But I think that people are always afraid to step back. Stepping back does not mean that we abandon it completely. Maybe I step back so that I can actually, look through a different pair of lenses to understand where I'm contributing to the problems in our relationship.
anyway, I've heard you, and this is where we traditionally always differ.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yes.
because first of all, the first question I'd like to ask you in this assumption you're making, what type of relationship are we dealing with?
Any type.
It cannot be okay if you say any type.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that if a
Oh,
woman, if somebody is in a marriage
in a marriage. Yes.
and you find out that this is your practical situation, you should
Yes.
step out and step back?
Step back. Yes. I will
Okay,
say it
one, hold on, hold on, one,
150%.
hold on, Hold
Yeah,
on. Imagine that you're in a partnership.
yeah,
You've invested $1 million,
yes.
and the other person has invested $1 million.
Mm-hmm,
And we find that there's a situation like this.
mm-hmm,
We suddenly dawned on us that we're dealing with a person that has trust issues or a
mm-hmm,
person that has character issues.
mm-hmm.
What do? You leave your $1 million there?
The same thing. You do the same thing. However, where the differences will be is that what is at stake, right? We can't
That,
escape it.
that's why I chose these examples. What is at
Yeah,
stake?
yeah, yeah. So let me
Happens.
explain it. Yeah, let me explain
Okay.
it. So not even $1 billion. Let's even say $10 million. And I want to be as
Let's do one. One is a lot of money anywhere in the world.
I want to be as realistic as possible, as close as I can be. So here's the thing. Now, uh, it's even a good thing that we've taken it to monetary and not romantic relationship. But I think it's the same thing that applies, which is what I always actually say. Why do you think that you should apply a different set of rules to your romantic relationship? A relationship is a relationship, right? The moment that you begin to apply a different set of rules to the romantic one, or even to the one between you as the parent and the child, you're going to have problems because facts are always going to be facts. Facts are always going to be facts. I have to step back in this a $1 million, $2 million partnership so that I can evaluate how best to safeguard what I already have at stake. Because if I just continue because I have $1 million at stake, it may cost me more. I may lose my life in the process of it. I may lose my sanity in the process of safeguarding that one. So why don't I right now understand that I have made a choice to do this partnership with someone with whom I'll always be at loggerheads. There'll always be mistrust. There'll always be difficulty. It will be an uphill task. Why don't I face that problem that I'm seeing? I need to face it. I need to actually decide for how I'm going to move forward now that I've seen what the problem is. So even in a marriage, you need to step back. Stepping back does not mean abandoning the marriage or breaking it completely. We need to have some self-control. You can be away from that person for a while and figure out what's happening. And if it's not about me, because maybe we're afraid the person is going to find someone else, they're going to be tired. Why do we think that we want to help and direct and control every aspect of life like that? Why? You want to make sure that you remain with that person. Why? And continue. I don't think that that's what life is about. Life is not, struggles will come. When struggles come, we deal with them. But to go and choose something that I already see is a struggle, I don't think anybody should spend their life living like that. Solve the problem rather than remaining in it. Because that's what we see. And after 27 years, they still end up doing what they should have done 2 years in the beginning when they were 2 years in it. What do you say?
All
What do you
right.
think, Bishop? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I am bringing to the table in this conversation is the only difference between the position I am about to adopt in this conversation from yours is that you say step back. Maybe a definition of step back is the difference. Because for me, the critical thing here is to accept that, hey, these are my realities.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe what you mean by step back is come to a conclusion that this is what is facing you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Step back does not
Because,
mean a severance, but it means an
uh-huh.
evaluation, a
Yes,
reevaluation. And even if it leads to a severance, you should not be afraid of it because sometimes it
yes,
is necessary.
yes. Now, I am saying that individuals differ in life. There are people who will look at an obstacle and back off.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who look at an obstacle and try to find ways and means around that obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who look at an obstacle and try to push through it by force, causing as much damage as possible. So, in relationships, therefore, what matters is to first of all know who you are yourself. Secondly, determine who you're dealing with. And then, thirdly, choose a method or an approach in dealing with issues that confront you. We are providing principles only. Who am I? Am I able to have somebody step on my toes, be looking into my eyes and saying sorry while he's still stepping on my toes? Or am I the type of person who said, never, can never allow you to step on my toes? Who do you think you are? Esibune Jebonye. Or am I the type who is willing to keep conceding? There are children, there are financial commitments, there is a lot is invested in this. So when you know who you are, one, and then you know who the other person is too, it helps you to take a matured decision. Now, a lot of people don't have the privilege of the maturity we are bringing into this thing. A lot of people just see it from the one after honeymoon, but marriage it is. Meanwhile, they must spend hundreds of millions of naira for the wedding. Now, so what do we begin to deal with? There are character issues that must be dealt with. A lot of people are daddy's boys and mommy's girls, never made their beds, never fended for themselves. They had drivers, they had cooks, they had nannies. Everything was done for them. And suddenly she is married, and those responsibilities confront her. It takes maturity to learn on the job. She never cooked before in her family life. She never had to go to cook.
And you mentioned
And
something.
mhm.
You mentioned something. You said, "Am I the type who somebody will be stepping on my toes and and something?" You said something. So that's another thing. So the ego, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So if I yeah,
That's what I meant by character issues. There are
yes,
people whose egos are too large that they can't take it.
so that's a quality that right there determines that you are not, or I am not. I'm not
You see,
qualified to be in a partnership
no,
if
you
my
see,
ego is ruling me.
no, I told you that there are traditional places where your position differs from mine. Because your position has always been that if it won't work, don't force it, don't even try.
Yes.
Uh-huh. But my position has always been that, come, there is no perfect situation in life. It
But I'm
Satan,
with you. There's no
hold
perfect.
on,
There is no perfect
hold on,
situation.
hold on, let me land. Sataris paribus is just a mindset, a concept. It never works. And therefore, if I keep, it's not this one, it's not the other one because of, it's not the other one because of, it, you may end up single
No,
as
that's
a
that's
girl.
not. That's never. I've never. That's never been my message. Because
Okay?
my message is that if it were you and I, or me and Sheye, the issue here is I am going to come with certain things because Sheye has had a whole life. Whoever it is,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. A has had a whole life before they met me. So they've already had some experiences, some exposure to
Yeah.
life, and some things that
Yeah.
they weren't exposed to. So they already have a way that they look at life. The same thing with me. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever, at whatever point I meet that person, there will be some things that I will display or do that they will
Adjustments.
that they would even have issues with, that they're not happy with. The same
Mhm.
thing with them. There will be some things that they will do, or maybe some people somewhere have found somebody where there's nothing that they have an issue with. Maybe, right?
Don't mind
But
them.
most
It
of
doesn't
us,
exist.
no, let's just talk about, so most of us, let's even talk about where we now meet someone and there is something or some things the same way they find some things with us, right? I still think that it's a perfect relationship. I think that we can still have perfect relationships, because to me a perfect relationship is one where I meet with you, Bishop. There are certain things that you do or say or feel that I disagree with. However, I'm able to smile or just manage them or overlook them, because I won't let those things interfere with our relationship. I won't let them, because I value that relationship
I'm
beyond
so
worrying about those things.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that for the first time you are reasoning through the
No, no, no,
positions.
no. For the first time,
Let
you
me
are
land.
hearing me that way.
No, let me land now. Yes. Yes, you're reasoning through it. What I mean is you're bringing life into it. Yeah. Now, what you have said now is the heart of the matter. And that is that I have looked at you that you have these issues. Nobody is perfect. I have mine as you have yours.
I can't
And
blame
therefore,
you. You're a human
I,
being who had a life before I met
exactly,
you.
just like I
Yeah,
am. So we are two raw individuals whose path have crossed. So we look ourselves in the eye and we decide we will have to find a way. Because a perfect relationship is just two people that have found a way to overcome those issues. That's the end
exactly.
of the
So,
problem, right?
so we can agree that there are perfect relationships all over the place. We can agree, right?
There are perfect relationships based on the fact that the people made it perfect. It was not like a ripe mango that just falls on top of your head while you're walking under the tree.
Right. So now that we agree on that, let me take you a little step further. So,
Okay?
so that's why I say that those two people that you are thinking, or one party is thinking, there is nothing that we can't surmount. What
Exactly.
what is no, no, what is really, it's not true. It's not true, because I may be projecting that onto our relationship. I'm projecting it onto you because maybe in your mind, you don't hold that value for that relationship the way that I hold the value, that I believe in it. So if I'm working with someone who doesn't have that belief in it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If Shaya and I didn't prioritize this thing, as important, if I'm assuming, or he's assuming, one person is assuming that the thing is important to us, as you can be doing your best, right?
You
You can
see,
be doing your best. Oh, no, we cannot.
let me
We can't ignore it.
no, no, let me interrupt you. Let's go back to where we started from this evening.
Mhm.
The first thing I said is let us always know that there is no man God has made that will enter into a relationship with a girlfriend or a wife or a business partner and is entering into it intentionally to make it fail.
Bishop, that is that is that is the how do we say,
There
that
is
is
no
under normal circumstances. No, under normal
there's no woman,
circumstances.
there's no woman as well.
No, 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 no. Under that is under normal circumstances. But there are so
Listen,
many circumstances. Bishop,
hold on.
remember, remember. Okay, said I should hold on.
Yeah. There are except even I have been involved in a deliverance case, demonic case, where a woman projected herself. She said it in a large crowd. She was a water spirit, had houses and children in the other world. I know that people like you people in the West, Don't think that these things are real, but we deal with it here. And she was not meant to marry in this part of the world. And then suddenly, to her greatest surprise, a certain guy becomes too friendly. And she would just carry a bottle and break the bottle in the guy's head. She did all she could to drive him away, knowing who she is. But the
Why
guy
don't we talk
stuck through
about the
it.
one that, why don't we talk about a scenario or scenarios that cut across, everybody? Because
No,
when
but
you,
but it but that is the scenario. I am saying that there is nobody who just comes into a relationship and comes in for it not to work.
okay, let me tell you
Even
who
if
they
you're
are.
possessed.
Let me
Even
tell
if you're
you,
possessed.
let me tell you who these people are, and then we can all keep that in mind, because sometimes we forget that there are women. Actually, I have one that I sent to someone some time ago. She said it. When she was marrying this man, she married him because she wanted to have children, and she was already older. She was already a mature lady, and she knew
Older
that this
than the
was.
man.
I don't know if she was older. I don't think she was older than him. But the thing is, she knew
Okay,
that this was
just
not. She knew that this was not a man that she would marry on an ordinary day, right? But at this point, this man wanted to get married, and he was there. He was available, and she was older and wanted children, and she wasn't even the type who was bothered about the type of person that would father the child that she would have. She just wanted to make
mhm.
sure that she had a child or children. And so she knew that I will marry this man. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work. So with that kind of mindset, when you already know that this is not the man that I am interested in, what will happen the moment he does the slightest thing? What will happen the moment he has a small problem somewhere? You know? And then
Mhm.
there are the ones who, we've talked about it here already. I think you and I even had a conversation about the one who had to leave her home because it was a toxic family that she was coming from, right?
Yes, I remember you
Yes.
mentioned that.
And she married the man because he was ready to marry, So we are bound. And then now people are going to try and say women do that, but men do that as well. Men do that
No,
as
the
well. I
caveat.
know a man who got married recently. He only
Who's
married
up?
because he felt I'm over 40 now, right? So he knew this is not the person he married is direct or complete opposite of everybody we have ever seen him interested in. And he said it himself. He said, waiting I go do. So they are bound. They are bound. As much as it's
Excuse me.
we can't even say majority of the cases or minority. No, they are there half and half. So we need to know, why is this person? Why are we getting into this thing? The foundation is what is going to determine the value that the two people place on that relationship. No matter how we want to look at it, if we don't understand the value that the other person places on the relationship and we project what we place on it onto them, we find ourselves in that quagmire.
Yes.
So that's it. So for me,
You
I don't like to talk about married couples, because what I see with married couples is that
say
people,
don't cases.
yeah, they're already married. I'm not going to be the one to say anything on it, because if I were to say it, I already see what is happening there and what is going to happen, right? And if I do
Hmm.
anything to encourage it, when those things, because there'll always be fallouts, there'll always be disadvantages and lots of heavy burdens. And I will not be there to carry the burden with anybody. So somebody called me one day and said, I've left, I've left, I've left. And I was like, what do you mean? Are you there, Bishop?
Yes, I
Because I
am.
can't hear you. And then when she said that,
Okay.
I was like, so what is the point of what you just did? Because I could tell that, I asked, do you have this? Is this there? Did you do this? Did you do that? No, 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 no. I just had to leave because I won't take that. I won't take that. I was like, I don't see the point in what you just did. We don't take decisions just because we want to make a point, or because I no longer want to be disrespected, okay, what happens? What's the next step? Are you going to be able to manage the next steps? What are you going to do
Oh.
about the fallouts of the decision that you've taken? You took a bad decision. It's good that you recognized it and you've now, understood it and acknowledged it. But it doesn't mean that you take another bad decision. So I don't like to talk about
Oh.
marriage. I don't like to talk about married people. I like to talk about before the marriage.
I'm
This is
trying to
what
come back to
you
this, you know.
Hmm?
So what do I do? I'm trying to come back to.
Okay, you can go out and come back in. Maybe. Maybe you should
But
go
why
out and
is
come.
it
I don't know
so?
what happened to you. Oh, but I can see you here. I can see you on one. You can go out
But I'm not seeing
completely.
myself.
Oh, okay, now you are turned. Your camera is turned.
Oh, is that the point?
Your camera is turned to another. Yeah. Can you go out and come back in? Can you go out completely and come back in?
Okay.
I think you're still there. Are you still there?
I'm looking for the thing to even come into the conversation. Okay.
Can you?
Okay. Hold on. Diaspora. Let me get to the. Ah,
You are
oh
here.
God.
You are in the studio. Can you leave the studio
Okay.
completely?
I have to get to where I can leave for the studio from. Okay. Wow.
Uh,
Wow.
okay, now you're here. So just turn your rearrange your orientation. But we're seeing, okay, so you need to adjust your camera settings because we're seeing the other side of the camera. No, you're going to show us everything where you are, so be careful. I know what to do.
I
Let
am in
me
my.
let me
Okay, I
remove
should
you
leave and come
from.
back. Okay.
No, you won't change it. Oh. Yeah, so you still have the same thing. So I know what to do. Here's what you should do. You should You're there, right? I'm sorry, guys in the audience. Hello, Bishop. Hello, Bishop. Hello, Bishop. Can you hear me? Hello, Bishop. What's happening? Oh dear. Hello, Bishop. Okay. What's the last thing you said? Okay, I think we're going to end this unceremoniously and then continue this conversation on another time, on another day. Oh, he's here. But I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. You just need to change. Can you touch the three dots there? Do you see the three
Okay.
dots?
Yes.
So that you can go to your video, go to your settings rather.
I am at where you have extra camera presentations and settings.
Can you touch your settings? You touch your settings. Did you touch your settings? Hello? Can you hear me, Bishop? Oh,
Is
so touch the three dots under both of us. Touch the three dots under both of us. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. People in the audience. Touch the three dots under both of us, Bishop. So I think absolutely, Wigbert says, while every situation is unique, some common patterns that can contribute to relationship struggles. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Wig. Wiggy. Yeah, self-reflection, open communication, and a willingness to grow and adapt. Yeah, see, he ends it by saying, I don't believe in counseling and wouldn't involve it. I actually do not believe in counseling to an extent, to the point that I'm saying, I don't think Bishop can hear me, but to the point that what I find with counseling, many cases, is that they're just trying to find a way to make something that isn't working hatch on and walk on its hind legs or on its broken legs. Whereas maybe it's a foundational issue. Maybe it's a person or people who aren't qualified to be in a relationship. If a person isn't qualified to be in a relationship, and we have to begin to acknowledge that we just we just haven't arrived at that point. Some of us just haven't arrived at that point, right? Even if I think I have, maybe I haven't. Because if I continue to have relationship problems, then obviously something is missing. But am I going to be ready to admit it? So going into counseling and being able to force someone else to make something that is painful just survive is nothing. It's nothing. And I know that naturally, relationships can work without having other people come to force us to do things that we really don't want to do. Until we get to the point where we accept that, okay, this is the thing that I have before me and I'm ready to face it and accept it. Once I get to that point, then if the other person has the same willingness, then we're going to be able to do it. But it doesn't behove on one person having to sacrifice something. And in the way they say to give peace a chance or to give relationship a chance. You don't give a chance to something that you want. You do it. You either do it or you don't do it. So it's all or nothing. That's what it is. But I think we have been fooled enough with all the talk about counseling. That counseling should come before we cement the relationship. Counseling is just to show us the areas where we're missing things and to see if we can make it work. And if we can't make it work, what's the point in all this living in a fuss? Thank you very much, Wig. I love the contribution. Excellent contribution. To me, this is excellent. And I think with that, I will just end this. Thank you very much, Wig. I will end this conversation because I don't know what's happening with Bishop on the camera. So I know that this is a conversation that we need to continue. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity of mentioning that I'm not talking about married couples. I'm not with you because a lot of married people do not want to acknowledge the truth. and are not even able to live in the truth that they are living, in the thing that they're living, in the truth of what they're living. So I don't want to deal with anything that is unrealistic and unreal. Okay, so I'm just going to end the conversation now. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with me. So that I don't keep on rambling by myself. Have a beautiful weekend and see you again soon.